I swear, you know, you get out, you go to class for 2 whole days, and the whole world gets flopped upside down. That's right, I'm going to say flopped. That was a flip. Hello, beautiful people. Today's day 231 of Office Hours. Office Hours, of course, is the 5 Nation check-in. That's where I go live on Scam School with 2 million subscribers. I'm on a road with 1.7 million subs. Over 1 million followers over at x.com/wood. Dozens of humans over at LinkedIn. And most importantly, I visit with these ones, the elite ones, the Diamond Club. You guys, the only folks I care about in this whole wide world. Give or take. Don't tell my family. The important part is that, boy, oh boy, the hits just keep on coming. Not only are the predicted attacks just coming one after another, but the methods are getting revealed to be, I don't know, exactly what your old boy Brian was saying 1 year ago. Just confirmed, Madison Square Garden, I guess not really as confirmed as the words of an attacking ransomware hacking group can be trusted. It sounds an awful lot like Madison Square Garden got taken down by none other than our old friend, a social engineering attack. I strongly suspect, assisted with the very tool that we played with on this very program, in which you're able to remove accents. We'll get into all of that stuff. But first, we got to go to the gym. We got to limber up our minds. Here's the thing, guys. Cognitive defense. Love that phrase. That's not mine. I'm going to be speaking at a cognitive defense event coming up in just a month and a half, though, so I hope to see you guys out there in Las Vegas. We got to go to the cognitive gym. We have to develop the habits and routines of recognizing what deceit looks like, and there is no faster way, minute for minute, to train your brain to smell a scam coming from a mile away than to do it yourself. And that's why we're going back through the entire back catalog of Scam School. We call it Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Today, we're going to be watching episode number, hold on, let me get the number 127, I believe. Here we go. This is a collection of pool hall classics. We're going to do some degenerate gambling. Head on over to guestattack.com if you want to participate in that. And then we're going to dive head first into the shallow pool of Madison Square Garden. Here we go. Let's take a look. Here we go. This week, we're back at the pool hall to explode your pool balls. Don't worry about it. This episode of Scam School brought to you by GoDaddy and Gamefly. Go to www.gamefly.com/scamschool for your free trial membership. Welcome to an extra chunky edition of Scam School. That makes me feel like I have body issues. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. I'm your host, Brian Brushwood, and this week we are back with another pool hall extravaganza. So get ready for part 2 of Pool Hall Punks.
All right, Matt, you ready for more? I'm ready for more.
You are a glutton. You're like, I love to give you free beer, sir.
I love buying beer for people.
I love Scam School fans. You guys make it too easy on me. All right, we're going to do a quick and easy one that's going to piss you off as soon as you figure it out. All you have to do to win yourself a free beer is pick one of these balls, any of them, and roll it, get it underneath to this side without hitting the cue.
How many tries do I
No, give it a try. Give it as many tries as you want. Now, this is interesting. You picked the cue ball because the cue ball is what? Is slightly smaller than the other?
Slightly smaller,
Yeah, okay, that's clever.
Can't touch the
Second
cue.
corollary to the Constitution. Thou shalt not move the cue. But I love the way, see, at this point, I can tell you guys are burned because now you're just like, this guy's got some kind of tricky thing that's going to piss me off. All right, which one? This one?
That one right there.
All right, you got it. This one right here. Here we go. You ready? Come on, dude. You know it's all about the wordplay. You even said back to me the exact set of rules. All right, you got one more here?
One more.
Let's do it. Come on. All right, by now you know the game we're playing with our domain spec contest. That's interesting. Did you guys see those weird compression artifacts? That's the kind of thing. One of the side effects of this this back catalog not really having a home. Guys, 2 decades, it's a pretty long time. So as a result, copies of Scam School are kind of scattershot, and certainly the source footage doesn't get continuously maintained until, oh goodness, I don't know, sometime after production moved to Austin. So to be honest, that's part of the reason that I love doing these live streams, is so at least we have an updated, some kind of copy of it, because even those compression artifacts, I feel like you could use robots to fix.
All right, Matt. So a while ago, I put the word out to the Scam School audience that I was looking for pool tricks. And I was surprised at how many people suggested one specific trick. And they all assured me that it was totally doable and it worked every time and all these things. And in fact, a few people actually attached video of this trick. And now the setup was, and it was actually really awesome. And I hope this trick actually works. But the trick was, you get somebody on that end to put one finger on a ball on each, just over each of those 2 pockets. So on this side, it would be like, do me a favor, put one finger there, one finger there. Right? And then the shot was that you claimed that you could fire the cue from over on that side, and that it would hit both balls. Right?
Okay.
And in fact, I want you to see the clip because I want to see if it's actually possible.
Okay.
All right.
You have to be holding them or else it doesn't, the pressure's wrong here. If you want to... Damn, if I can't do it today. Oh! Oh my, yes, it works.
All right, now that's the idea, but everybody claimed that this is something you can actually do. So I want to try, since you've been such a willing participant so far, we're going to do our own mini Mythbusters experiment and see if we are able to verify if this is a useful scam or total BS.
Okay.
Sound good? According to both the video and all of the written emails I got, it claimed that if you put a 50-cent piece or a quarter, I got ones claiming each. We'll try it first with a quarter.
Okay.
It claimed that if you keep that in exactly that position, and if I hit that coin, it'll immediately rocket up and hit your junk. And I tell you, I can't believe you're actually going to let me just go right for your junk. If I were you, Matt, I would call in the caddy for some protection.
Caddy, you want in? Caddy?
Wait, it's just gonna shatter. It's just gonna shatter the glass. Come on.
right.
You gotta put your hands. You gotta put your hands
too.
to be the shield. There you go. There you go. All right. Oh my God! That would have worked right off the bat. Did that actually hit you? Did it hurt?
The six-pack of wonder.
Would it have gotten you?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's pretty good. All right, let's go. I tell you what, let's reverse it. You can try it on me. All right, let's talk about GameFly. You like
So
games,
this is
I like
interesting.
games.
This is one of the first times that we're starting to embrace the kind of proto Mythbuster X, what would happen kind of dynamic. I'm glad it worked. And in this case, that one was so good that you could tell my skepticism the moment I encountered it. Man, there's a lot of this that I'm very pleased that we were able to get this good this fast at that time back in the day. But looking back on it, man, I see a lot to improve on all of this stuff. But who knows? Maybe we'll do a shot-for-shot remake of the entire series of Scam School any minute now. Who knows? Here we go.
It's completely free. It's as good as winning a free drink. Get on over there. I'm feeling safe. Oh! That was like the most awesome trick shot ever. Oh! Dude, that most certainly would have rocked my junk. I don't know how hard it would have been, but that would have definitely kissed Mr. Happy. No lie. Dude, I gotta tell you. Now, some people said that you need a thicker coin or 2 of them. Let's try it with 2 coins. Let's see if that makes any difference. case, I nearly lost a tooth. So I guess we do need to make like liability disclaimers about this. All right, so we did it a whole bunch of tries, and we did successfully get it to almost hit our junk, but thank you for the caddy. For saving our rocks. My take on this is, you tell me what yours is. Like, if you're we are not pro, we're not good. We're just casual players, and we were able to make it work, like what, 1 out of every 5 times?
1 out of 5, yeah.
Right, okay, so if you feel like taking those chances at home, then go for it. It is possible to replicate that exact scenario from the video, but I'm gonna say it's pretty unlikely. But dude, regardless, thank you. Like, anyone who drives 90 minutes to do scam school and then sits there as I repeatedly shoot balls at his rocks, you're an okay guy by me. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Caddy, for saving our children's children. Couple things to remember on this episode. First of all, Matt's caddy Chris was exactly correct. By the rules I had laid out, if he had sunk one of those balls and it went underneath on the inside of the pool table, I would have lost. So be ready for that kind of sideways thinking. Second of all, I want to hear about your success stories and failure stories, so post them at the boards at revision3.com/scam-school, where you can see all of our episodes right back to episode 1. If you want to hit me up with your favorite power scam, write me directly at brian@revision3.com. And if you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow the show at twitter.com/scamschool, or find out when I am in your hometown ready to meet you in person by following me at twitter.com/schwood. Next week, we're going to be learning from an expert how to produce a commercially viable, cost-effective, all-electric vehicle. Sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face. Oh, that was a good one.
Wow! What an artifact of a different time. Right up there. Aged like milk, that one did. This would have been before or right around the Tesla Roadster. It would have been a minute. I'd be curious if there's.
Hey guys,
oh no.
how'd you like it?
So we're not doing that one. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. A couple of things I noticed is the I guess we have, first of all, lyrics in that audio of the end. Normally I don't hear lyrics on that. I was pleased to see kind of a diversion from the usual format. I would have separated the ad breaks, but this is before I had any say on the editorial side of things. But commercially viable electric vehicle. That's crazy. Yeah, JNNX. Jinx, good to see you. Dig was the gateway, man. Dig made all of my career possible, I guess. Not directly. I think we barely goofed around on Dig outside of messing with Jay Adelson. But the presence of Diggs, the success of Dig led to Dig Nation, which led to Revision 3, which led to Scam School, which led to kind of my whole career. And for anybody who's new here, I do see a few new faces because we've got new folks. Look, here's the overall idea. 20 years I've been teaching non-deceivers how to deceive. And for the first time, we're at an extraordinary gateway moment in all of humanity. A whole bunch of rules are getting rewritten, and a whole bunch of habits and norms are being established. If you wondered what it was like during the .com revolution, congratulations. You're in the middle of it. You're watching all of society get rewritten. However, a negative externality, an artifact of all of this, is that robots, pretty good at using word salads and various tricks, modalities to fool humans. Bad guys have robots, and long before we find out whether or not we end up at Skynet or Wall-E, we know for a fact that right now fraud is off the charts. FBI data shows that it's practically doubling every year, up to $25 billion of fraud reported last year, or maybe it was 20 billion or 25 billion. We're on track for 40 billion by the end of next year. It's going to be absolutely insane, which brings us to the story. Actually, we got to do our degenerate gambling first. See, we have a checklist for a reason. We got to stick to everything. We're about to talk about the Madison Square Garden hack and how that happened. But first, we have to place bets. So I want you to head on over to Guess Attack, GUESSATTACK.com. And here's the game. All of these episodes, they came back all the way in late summer 2010. That's what we're up to, episode 127. However, not all of them were hits. So we try to sniff out, based on just what you saw, knowing what the subject is, knowing where we are in the timeline, we're going to figure out how many views you think it got. G. James B. thinks this episode got 469,410. Sorry, 269,410. Argyle Gargoyle coming in with 272,000. Oh, yeah, it's Adam with 120,005. Kurometoriku with YOLO 42069. Joey H666 with 300,000. ATL John Boy with 189,256. Muslix with 300,000. And Dose Sinewave with 1776. Pierce. Matt York YouTube says 160,000. BioCow coming in with 273,219. Curtis Hoffman 6956. I appreciate your restraint, Curtis. No, there is not a code today. However, we are very pleased that there is a live stream. Adams, itty bitty little second guest coming in at 17. Flying Car 100 with 256,000. Banterat with 269,000. And wonderful Jinx, first time player with 414,420. And the actual number of views that this episode got. Originally published 15 years ago in August 18th, 2010. The answer is, oh my goodness, hold on. 269,380. Look at this. Here, we'll do guesses close. Boom. Now we're going to find out who won. I think somebody got very, very close. G. James B was off by 30. All right. Okay. 269,410 is a reasonable guess. And it does use several of the numbers that a lot of you guys like to use. However, I do remember that a few days ago, we casually glimpsed the number. I didn't remember it this precisely, but I would be curious, G. James B., how much of this was sticky memory and how much of it was just getting lucky. But either way, congratulations to first place gold medal award winner G. James B. at 269,410, off by only 30 views. Incredible. Second place silver medal goes to Banterat with 380, and Argyle Gargoyle coming in with a legit 272,000, off by just 2,620. Good job, team. Could be lucky memory. Yeah, rest in peace forever, Bob Barker. Boy, do you remember that hot minute? I'm so sad that Sora didn't even get a full summer with us, because all the Bob Barker mashup clips, that was good times. Like, as afraid as we were for humanity during the Sora bubble, boy, were there some good laughs that we had. We will go back and we will talk about this time and say, remember when AI was fun? Like the way we talk about the internet, that's going to happen. Yeah, Flying Car 100, your 256,000 didn't even make the top three. Competition is getting tight. Tight. All right, let's talk about our story. Here's the game. If you guys head on over to officehours.themodernrogue.com, you'll see a living document. Shouts out to Sign for putting this together for us. All of you guys are welcome to submit your stories. Just pop them in there. And then we will, this is where we source a bunch of ours. Although I think this one came in straight from the news. Let me see if I can move the story over from this computer to the other one. There we go. We got another story from 404 Media. They're doing really good work. This is a Brian is interested in it story, but I think you guys will be there for it. 404 did some original reporting, was able to find out exactly the attack vector for the Madison Square Garden attack. If you're unfamiliar, Madison Square Garden is a really fascinating linchpin for the fusion between trading privacy, security, AI research, and the incoming scampocalypse. Trademark. It's actually not trademarked. Go ahead, use it liberally, just with attribution. So if you're unfamiliar, Madison Square Garden started making headlines because they had a, shall we say, aggressive data collection habit when it comes to faces and information. But don't worry, it's all in the service of safety, security, right? As often happens whenever you have big collections of data, you have an incentive for other people to get their hands on it. And so in this case, in order, a number of things happened. Number one, the Knicks win the World Championships. Congratulations. So there's a spotlight on Madison Square Garden. Number two, the group Shiny Hunters, the same one behind the Canvas attacks a month or two ago, they come out and they do an extortion scheme. They say, yo, we have collected all of your data. Here are samples to make it credible, to show you exactly how legit this threat is. We've compromised all of your systems. We've got 26 million faces, according to them, in this 45 gigabyte file, so they claim. And then they said, you've got until June 15th to give us not yet released number of money. In general, for these hacks, the previous comps that we were able to find was, I believe it was an AT&T hack where they threatened to release a whole bunch of info for unless $1 million was paid. Allegedly, they settled for about 1/3 of that cost, but AT&T did write a check. We have boots on the ground reporting from our very own star woman, Penny Brushwood, who was able to confirm that an agreement was reached with Canvas, so they paid. And of course, the question is, why would you pay or trust criminals? Because whether it's in a black market, a white market, or a gray market, reputation matters. And if you are a evil organization with a reputation for being an honest dealer, who when they say we're not going to release this information, doesn't release this information, then you increase the odds that you're going to pay. In this case, though, Madison Square Garden did not pay. And June 15th came and went. The very next day, on June 16th, 45 gigabytes of data gets released, including emails of millions of people. Allegedly 26 million faces scanned. Emails and contact information for, I don't know, Ben Stiller, bunch of famous rappers, bunch of everybody's who went there. And so some of the remaining questions are, what were the amounts that were fussed over? Is the data legit? By the way, it appears to be legit. They just added it to haveibeenpwned.com. If you go to HAVI, have I been, not flocked. PWNED.com is the site. And then if you look here, let's see if Madison Square Garden, where's the latest? Oh, I don't want to just. So this is a great site for you to check in and see whether or not your information has been compromised. There we go. Who's been pwned? Madison Square Garden Sports, June 2026 details. In June 2026, sports and entertainment company Madison Square Garden was the target of a Shiny Hunters pay or leak extortion campaign. The group later published the alleged data, which included almost 10 million unique email addresses spanning staff, customers, along with extensive personal, employment, and customer relationship information. Now, here's the thing. You might ask yourself, well, what does Madison Square Garden care? Who cares? It's not their information. They're not at risk. So some customers' emails that they gave somebody else are now out in the world. Unfortunately, all the customers had a bit of a beef with this. And as a result, there was a class action lawsuit on behalf of the 26 million faces allegedly released. And so that'll be another one that we're going to keep an eye on. This might be our O.J. Simpson trial. This might be the exact case. Let's see, MSG class action. There we go. Look at this. Yeah. Everybody's talking about it. So the class action lawsuit basically says that they so egregiously handled the data poorly that they need to be sued, and everybody is entitled to compensation because everybody is about to have a pretty rough day. Like the externalities of small-time bad actors grabbing all the identifying information, creating profiles for people who they want to create spoof identities of, to commit fraud in their names. That's a big negative externality, and there's a reasonable case to be made that these people deserve compensation. So as a result, Madison Square Garden, let's say it was $1 million ransom. How does that look in comparison? So the question is, how did they broke in? Oh, here, I got to sign in. By the way, I'm so excited, guys. I have a functioning email again. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. I registered shwood.com 30 years ago. You guys weren't even born. I registered, about 30 years ago. And so as a result, the company and the domain registrars and stuff have been bought and sold so many times that Brian at shwood.com barely was working and the infrastructure finally collapsed. And so for a while, I just couldn't get it. So for the first time, here, look at this. I'm going to put this on there. There we go. Title editors. officehours.themonologue.com. You can write me at brian@shwood.com. In fact, go ahead and try it. I bet I'll actually get it live on the air. Send me an email, brian@shwood.com. Say howdy, and we'll see how fast it shows up. Because it used to be that it would go to a bucket, and once every 15 minutes, I would get access to the bucket, which made it not a very useful email address. But now it's useful again, so thank goodness. And, whoop, oh goodness, that wasn't right at all. Let's try that. There we go. All right. And so I'm going to check my email. It just sent me a magic link. Let's see, I'm at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hey, there we go. I got my magic link. It feels like a new toy. It makes me want to go back and start using MailChimp again more and reaching out to you guys via the email list, which you guys can sign up at, of course, over at, not officehours.themonologue, signup.scamstuff.com. All right. How hackers broke into Madison Square Garden. The hackers that stole a large cache of data from MSG called a low-level employee and tricked him into letting the hackers in MSG's systems, according to the hackers and 404 Media's review of the stolen data. So essentially, if you're new here, real quick, in the before times, computers did computery things, humans did human-y things, and there was a lot of types of crimes that weren't very easy to accomplish because humans have regional dialects. They have maybe not very good experience at deceiving other humans. All of that is getting smoothed out thanks to robots. Not confirmed in this article, but what I suspect is that this was accomplished partly through the use of accent removal technology, and certainly with a dossier. Eventually, you won't even bother to have a human on the call, possibly not even monitoring the call, because there's no reason, if robots are already better at calculations, there's no reason a robot can't be better at deception than humans are. In fact, I am certain of it. Rhythm, pacing, patience, gifts, benefits, being a kind listener, getting people in their head where they're talking about more and more increasingly personal stuff and they feel warm towards the other entity, assuming they don't know it's a robot, which you should assume people aren't going to know it's a robot. Robots are going to be better than humans at talking their way into things, if they're not at a state level already there. With that being the case, all you have to do is get a robot on the phone with a low-level employee, get them to convince them of some kind of issue that gets you as an employee in the system, and then everything goes downhill from here. We're going to find out more. It says here, this breach highlights the risk of social engineering over voice calls, sometimes called vishing, voice phishing. Where hackers social engineer someone over email or send them a fake login page, has been common for decades. Vishing has only become prevalent more recently. It's about to get a lot more prevalent. By the way, wolfmasking.com. Wolfmasking.com. We'll get to this. Wolfmasking.com. Go check it out. Right now, you're seeing it in the state where it's about taking on pilots. Not for long. This is a crisis moment that indicates, to the benefit, look, guys, occasionally Brian's pretty right. Minute for minute, nothing trains you faster than doing the thing. And what wolf masking does is take your toughest to train employees and throws them in the deep end, not all at once. They get there in a comfortable way. In a safe, secure way, they play as the attacker. And once you have conducted the scam, once you've closed the trap around them, you have a mental model superior to any amount of classroom book learning. All your defensive driving videos on the planet ain't going to compare to just 3 hours of behind-the-wheel real-life experience. That's what we're doing with wolf masking. Put a pin in that. You'll hear more about it. Especially as young and native English speakers, hackers have become a serious cybersecurity threat. Employee vishing on their Microsoft Entra is what a member of the hacking group behind the MSG breach called Shiny Hunters told 404 Media. So basically they said, yeah, we did a vishing thing, voice phishing. So last week, 404 was early to report on the giant data dump from Shiny Hunters. They had fields on all of the customers, including their address, claim to fame, cost of talent. In some cases, they had a risk score for certain celebrities, with actor, director, and Knicks fan Ben Stiller described as low risk, and rapper Boogie with a Hoodie marked high risk. I don't know if that's for... I would assume that's risk for, shall we say, being interesting during the game. Since then, 404 took a look over everything. And what they noticed was there was a whole bunch of information, including a lot of detailed information on one particular employee, including a W-2 form, including direct contact information. So they suspect that this was the specific low-level employee that got compromised because they have all the data on it. Then they reached out to the hacking group, Shiny Hunters, to find out what they could. Now, of course, Shiny Hunters, why would they talk to the media? I don't know, because in some way, this is a giant advertisement for who they are and what they represent and what will happen if you do or don't play ball with them. It details another attack. The post described what Microsoft called a methodical, sophisticated, and multi-layered attack. And the person from Shiny Hunters said, yeah, that was about us. And when they asked farther, they said, what's going on here? The hackers started the self-service password reset process, then tricked users into completing the multi-factor authentication prompts that appear legitimate, Microsoft said. For example, the threat actor might impersonate an internal information technology IT support representative and contact the user claiming that their account requires urgent verification, instructing them to approve MFA prompts as part of a routine password reset procedure, the blog post reads. So one of the best things you could do. How many of you guys are going to be at DEF CON this year? I'll be at DEF CON. I hope to see you guys out there. I'm doing a workshop, as a matter of fact, on, as luck would have it, social engineering. So make sure to come on out to my workshop in the Social Engineering Community Village. But essentially, there's a bunch of different ways you can play it. You get on the phone, you get to a human, and you sort of calibrate. You could pretend to be somebody who's an authority figure from IT. You could pretend to be somebody who just needs help. But the point is, you get them on your side and you get them walking through things. In this case, they're saying, hey, this is so-and-so from IT. We got to reset your whatevers. Go through all the steps. And when you get on the other side, they've completed all the steps, but they've done so with a man-in-the-middle attack that makes it so that they are a low-level employee in the system now, at which point they can run around, hoover up all that data. Once in, hackers can then pivot to other apps or systems where data may be stored. In MSG's case, the dump includes data taken from a SharePoint instance. That's their collaboration platform. Sounds to me like a Slack kind of thing. The Shiny Hunters member didn't elaborate beyond that. But here's the important part. We're talking about the real cost to MSG. Law firm Morgan & Morgan has filed a class action lawsuit related to the breach, arguing that MSG's surveillance of visitors led to it. So in other words, they're saying this wouldn't be a problem if you hadn't been collecting all that data. Now, whether or not that's a problem, we're in the Flock case, interesting spot. The MSG case, interesting spot. I don't know, guys. It almost feels like we're keying in on a beat here. In fact, let me know what I've missed so far on this. If there's an insight that you want me to read, hit me up, brian@shwe.com, or post the story at officehours.themonologue.com. Shouts out to 404 Media. You guys should go subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Although they will ask you for money, but you should pay money if you have it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, it's Adam. I don't like how right you are. The Hey Boss Bot comes for us all. All right. Let me read all of you guys. How come the hack did not seem to affect the MSG stock price? That's a good question, Flygar 100. First of all, remember, stocks are not a reflection of what is actually happening. They are a reflection of what the public trading's understanding of what is happening is going on. And in this case, I would suspect that there was already, it was well known, the privacy, some would say privacy violations, so others would say privacy vigilance that they were engaged in. And I would guess that it was already priced into the stock, because ultimately, whether or not the lawsuit has any merit is a different question. Because truthfully, they're probably going to be able to fight this lawsuit with their insurance money, and it won't really affect anything. I suspect, speaking from the outside, no inside knowledge, I suspect that they have insurance for this kind of lawsuit. I suspect that the insurance company knew they were collecting a lot of data and that they had priced in the possibility of an attack. I suspect that the insurance company is going to write a big check to fight the law company. And maybe if a surprising decision comes in, then we'll see the stock be affected. But outside of that, I don't see much of a reason that it would be. A lot of the ugly parts of the scampocalypse that's coming are not going to be visible. People are going to hide them under different line items. Nobody wants to report them. Nobody wants to report, I got, I was fooled. So, yeah, there's that. BioCow says, I've heard that the hackers usually ask for about 1% of the company's annual revenue. Works out to cash for them and a bruise on the company. That would be an interesting pricing heuristic, BioCow. That would make sense. R.I.P. to the Druze. Yeah, no, rest in peace to Nicole Brown Simpson for sure. That's well grammar. Is there a C in Schwood? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's almost as though they're data brokers. Let's see. Oh, we got pokes. Guys, we had a busy HQ here today. We are getting ready to shoot some stuff with Andrew Heaton. If you guys liked... Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm in the last 10 minutes here, guys. So, Sign says, what's the point of worrying about this? Everyone's going to go to the cube. They're all going to scan your face. Yeah, that's true. But this adds to the friction, to the calculus of where that's coming from. So here, let me give you guys a couple of sneak previews. If you dug Andrew Heaton joining us on Monologue for the Dunbar's number rogue. This episode, we're going to do more of this stuff. What topics would you like us to talk about? We're going to decide here in just a bit. But this was a lot of fun. Really good episode. I have to go find a place for us to shoot again. But I'll give you a little bit of a sneaky peeky of... Oh, I could give you two behind the scenes things. One, we could take a look at the upcoming episode. Tomorrow, I'm going to bug you guys. We're going to talk titles and thumbnails and see what we want this one to be called. It's one in which we... Oh, wait. In which we resurrect this 201 kit. And we end up making an optical theremin. It was the coolest thing. So we key in on the one bit of this that I haven't seen a whole bunch since then. And we end up... Here we go. Do you have a strobe? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. It's more than just that, but that is one of my favorite parts. In fact, we actually start with this Twilight Zone.
115-watt electronic project kit is only $29.95.
Astonishing, perhaps, but you can find it in a place that's known as Radio Shack.
This was actually more complicated.
Yeah, no, it was great. Good episode. So that one's coming out. We'll talk titles and thumbnails tomorrow on that. We'll launch. Maybe we'll do a big premiere if you guys can make it. Che asks on the hack, if someone knew this hack was going to happen, if they bought shares in MSG, and if it caused the stock price to fall, and they cashed in big, is that considered insider trading or something else? Yeah, so insider trading is a crime. And I would imagine that once you've committed the crime of hacking the Madison Square Garden, you're probably not terribly concerned with also the crime of insider trading. But almost certainly people are making big money. That's why they say this stuff is priced into the market. And we see that with the emerging strange aspects of polymarket on all that. Market manipulation is what it would be called. Yeah. And then one last thing. Oh yeah. Shouts out. If you guys, I want you to head on over to youtube.com/scamstuff. On your YouTube feeds, in your shorts, we're starting to run the complete list of hacking the system shorts, just all in a row to kind of see how everything reacts. Here, let me switch this account. We can take a look at some of them analytics. There we go. Yeah, off to a start. Pow, pow, pow. And so the first one I put in there is one of our all-timers. If you look at the shape of this one, it is a very flat retention curve. Look at that. People start it, and they can't stop it. It's almost perfect. Maybe you could cut off 2 seconds at the end. So because this guy is so good and sticky, it's continuing to push that one as we put the other ones in there as well. Shorts. Wait a tick. Shows? What are shows? Are shows different than lives? Am I doing a show now and not a live? Interesting. All right. Well, that'll be it. That's it for this episode. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's see. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. You guys are the best. Let me refresh this. And you can see your name in the credits. Bye, guys.